All right, so 6 weeks into the Engineer Bowl, and we're going to do some analysis of what happened last week, and then play a little game towards the end. Start, cut, bench. NBA fans might be familiar with that. We'll talk about who to trust and who to sort of give up on or sell high on. Or sell low on, I don't know. Buy low, sell high. It is what it is. Let's go through matchups first from week 6. This is a painful one. If my laptop will ever load. Anag versus me. And this started with a 70% win probability for Anag. I thought he'd have a good week, but then it looked kind of grim for him when Kirk Cousins went off and put up 35 points. When we review love and hate picks from last week, you'll see that Kirk Cousins over Jared Goff was indeed a good decision, and I thought that would pay off. Adrian Peterson did his job, Duke Johnson did his job, Thielen did Thielen things, and at the end it came down to Juju needs to outscore Austin Eckler by 20 points, and obviously that did not happen. But obviously, 6 straight weeks, Anag picked the wrong quarterback, and this time it didn't matter.
Yeah.
This time it didn't matter. DeAndre Hopkins finally puts up a serviceable performance. It was enough for him.
I think at this point, if anybody ever needs to make a start-sit decision between these two, then we can just point him to whoever now started and tell him to start the other guy.
Yep. The storyline of this matchup was basically Devontae Freeman beat me, which I mean, life is not fair, Devontae. I loved you.
Damn. It be your own. It be your own.
A rules performance, I mean, if everybody outside of Patrick Mahomes and Christian McCaffrey doesn't do anything, he's going to find it a little tough. Mahomes and McCaffrey have been carrying him a lot, but
oh my goodness,
his RB2 is Ito Smith.
His tight end is Rhett Ellison.
Rhett Ellison.
I mean, you can't be too disappointed if Rhett Ellison gives you 6 points.
6 points, very nice.
Yeah.
Can't be too disappointed, but Ito Smith is probably not going to get the job done for you. Cowboys looked atrocious. Amari put up 1 point. It just wasn't enough. Deshaun Watson is back, and even though Justin had to start Chris Thompson, Calvin Ridley over Gurley, it turned out okay. I told him he should have started Tevin Coleman over Chris Thompson. He didn't listen to me, but
that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
All right, let's keep going. What do we got?
Arjun Mithil is 4-2.
He's literally actually running the league.
He's also
unironically.
3-0 since we gave him the clown
Emoji.
Photoshop.
The clown
He's on a
yeah.
4-game winning streak. I think he's literally the hottest team in the league right now.
Literally the hottest team in the league. Gardner Minshew did not do his job, and Ian benched Stephon Diggs.
Oh my god.
It is what it is. Arjun's team is good. You can't be making bad decisions facing Arjun.
I mean, I get benching Stephon Diggs, but not benching Stephon Diggs for Jarvis Landry. That's a pretty bad take.
Yeah.
It is what it is. If you make mistakes against Arjun, you're probably going to pay for it.
Apparently.
Quote Ian.
Here we go.
Quote Ian. Ahan, your roster is trash. Yeah. Also, Ian makes this decision.
All right.
So, yeah.
So, I finally do have to answer for my first loss of the season to Francisco. So, that happened. And now here's my second loss of the season. I mean, it was a really tough matchup for Dalvin. And, well, Aaron had Jamal Williams come back, so...
He also dropped a wide-open touchdown.
He did. I mean, I was already going to lose anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't going to start Jamal Williams over Aaron Jones. I mean, come on.
Josh Gordon, I was actually thinking of benching Josh Gordon so I could play Malcolm Brown, but that wouldn't have made a difference. Anyway, just no one did much, so...
Clearly, you should have played Jamal Williams.
Yeah, clearly.
And every week...
Oh, and Ingram got hurt, so I had to play Noah Fant. So,
yeah. Every week, I hate to admit it, but Austin Hooper is more than just relevant.
Yeah, freaking...
He's the tight end 1. He's literally the tight end 1 right now.
Austin Hooper is literally the tight end 1.
Like I said 3 weeks ago, Austin Hooper is Austin Hooper. So.
Yeah,
this is a true statement, no matter how
Zach's in the rare position.
Yeah.
Zach's in the rare position of flexing a tight end, but it's working out.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, one loss, I go to third in the division.
Oh, yikes.
Tough division. Meanwhile, Daniel Guo Hey, at least you crossed the 70 barrier.
Yeah. Ravi was shit talking. Okay, he wasn't actually shit talking all week, but he was like very excited for the matchup, and I was also very excited to beat him, but that did not turn out to happen. This is the 1 week where Baker scored more than Dak. So,
what?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised Dak got 18. That's.
Yeah, he looked like crap, but somehow he still got 18.
Wait, can you go down? Oh, he did have that garbage time rushing touchdown. So.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I
I don't know if anybody saw the 2-point try by the Cowboys at the end, but that really captured the entire game for the Cowboys. That was terrible.
I saw that.
And it was
All right.
against
The whole
the Jets,
drive-
so it was in. Wait,
Oh, we'll
hold on.
talk about it.
Hold on.
Next game.
Can you zoom
Oh,
back in?
never mind.
Can you zoom back in? Because you zoomed out once.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, what? Zoom in?
Yeah, because
Oh, right. You're right.
Joe Mixon did not have a good game. He hasn't been having great games recently. Emmanuel Sanders had 1 point. We'll talk
I don't know what
about
to
that
make of
later.
Emmanuel Sanders anymore.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
great
talk about
for him
that
in another
later,
league.
so unfortunate. And Ravi's team was just average, but
Hey, the addition of Mike Evans did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just traded for Mike Evans, and Mike Evans did his job. As far as tight end matchups go, this matchup was maybe not the sexiest of the week.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett and Daniel finally starts somebody other than O.J. Howard, and
Dude, I told you to pick up Fells or Akins. You didn't listen to me.
Well,
O.J. Howard outscored Tyler Eifert.
yes.
That's not saying much.
Like that sometimes.
And Ravi still has Antonio Brown. That is all.
We'll talk about that later. Oh, let's go.
And
Together
law
this week.
conservation of twins.
Yeah. If he gets a win, I get a loss. And the other way around. But, well, this week. I'm going to miss that man so much. Okay. Sorry. Can we have a moment of silence for him?
F's in the chat, as they say.
Dude, he was
Hey,
so
you can
good.
trade for a tight end.
I'm thinking about it.
Do you want Tyler Eifert?
No.
Do you want Noah Fant?
No, it can't. Yeah, I did pretty well. Kind of everything came together. Godwin still outscored Evans. He was like 15 for one. No, 10 for 150 or something crazy like that. Dude, Godwin is a stud. Scary Terry scared his way to 26 points. That was good. Yeah, overall good performance.
Every player other than Will Dissly and defense and kickers outscored more than double of Evans' 2 running backs.
Wow.
Summarizes.
Wait, so is he highest score this season?
160.
That is. His highest score was 20 on the dot, so he finally broke 20. I do want to say one more thing, which is that if I can beat a rule without CMC next week, they have 2 like crap teams on the schedule. So if I can beat a rule this week, I think I have a pretty good chance to be 5-4 and really in the thick of things. So this week's gonna be important for me.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
I am talking about playoffs.
Nothing is
Unbelievable.
going on
This
here.
toilet bowl.
Sonic finally picks up a quarterback, and it's Marcus Mariota negative 1.2%. He finally made some moves. He picked up Jeff Wilson.
If he watched the podcast, he would have picked up Case Keenum. So
Golden Tate on his bench scored 22, and really nothing exciting happening there. But Paula picks up a much-needed win. Starts Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders actually did well. Nothing too exciting going on here, though.
yeah, that's a toilet bowl. So
Reviewing love-hates from last week.
Very nice. This is
CMC
even
was-
worse.
oh god.
CMC was not a good hate pick. Moral of the story, don't hate on CMC. Adrian Peterson did his job. I'm going to say that's a good love pick.
Yeah.
Greg Olsen, the Panthers boned me this week. Greg Olsen did not do well.
Marquise Badwin.
Marquise, good for losing. 3.5 points. Nothing much to say here, but Jared Goff was a great hate pick.
Yeah.
Wow. Very
So you hit on like 33% of your picks. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, my picks. Carry on. You would have expected more for the early touchdown, so I would think 14 points is like an average
We'll call
game.
that a wash.
So we'll call it a wash. Auden Tate, good pick. He's been getting double-digit targets the last 3 weeks, so keep on starting him if you have him. Austin Hooper's good.
There it is, Austin Hooper.
The hate picks didn't go so well. Devonta kind of went off. I guess
you can't.
I don't know.
When you face the Cardinals, you can't really hit on them.
Yeah, that's true. Mike Evans also did not get totally shut down by James Bradbury, and he should have been even better. I mean, he had like that dropped huge touchdown in the end of the first half, I think it was. Anyway, yeah.
Yep.
But
wide open.
Gerald Everett, good hate pick. So I hit on, I guess, 3 picks. 3.5, we'll call it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh boy, here we go.
Hey, Dano, it's getting better though.
Does it really count if someone's inactive? Wait, what happened with Marquise Brown, anyways? Was he just injured?
He didn't play.
He was. Dude, it was like during the week, like Friday, he got blew out or something.
Oh, okay. Then. Okay.
Yeah, I guess
that doesn't
better.
really technically count because I didn't know if he was going to play or not. But like I said,
Yeah.
if he was going to play, he wasn't going to have a good game, and he didn't play, so it doesn't really count. Jordan Howard, 4.9 points. That's fine. Carson Wentz somehow went really off against that game.
That's not going really off, but that's not
like
a good game.
above average.
It's a
for Carson
serviceable
Wentz.
performance.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not really a good pick. Joe Mixon, I thought he'd finally have a good game, but no. Just
20
no.
points from a Redskin starter is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Case Keenum, the streamable Greeks. So that's
Yeah. And then Michael Gallup got 8.6.
Hey, at least he didn't put up a goose egg.
8.8.
8.8.
So there you go. Amari Cooper got 1 point. So I mean,
All right, so love picks. Duke Johnson.
Oh, man.
Why? Well, he got a touchdown. He got 13 points. I mean, that's pretty okay. It's his highest points of the season. Stephon Diggs.
Wow.
Best love pick of the season.
Yep.
Yeah. 43 touchdowns. What is it, 160 yards, something like that. I just had a feeling it was going to be a day sweeper at the end of the week. Okay, Chris Herndon was inactive, but the backup tight end Ryan Griffin caught a touchdown, 11.8 points.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Pick up Ryan Griffin.
I wouldn't recommend that, but it shows.
Wrong R. Griffin to pick up. It's clearly RG3.
The Jets' offense with Sam Darnold compared to Luke Falk. Hate pick, James Conner, not a good pick at all. Just don't know that if there's a backup quarterback, you should cover the check down.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
check down his way to a whole bunch of points. The 49ers wide receivers did what I thought, which was nothing. Pettis, 7 points.
Chargers defense, by the way, worse tackling than the ESPN Iron Flag football team. Confirmed.
Yeah, so 49ers wide receivers, they did nothing like I expected. I mean, the Niners only scored 20 points, too, so it was.
But was the tackling worse than Texas on Saturday?
And then Aaron Rodgers, is this his best of the season?
No.
I think second best, maybe.
Yeah, second best.
Yeah,
best is definitely.
Yeah, he had. I just want to point out, one of the touchdown passes was a tap pass.
That is true.
The second one was he got sacked and they called Trey Flowers for. He got third down. They called Trey Flowers.
I remember that.
For penalty, and then he threw a touchdown the next.
Literally, not even Packers fans want to talk about that Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, so I mean, he got the points. So, and I mean, it wasn't that. It's still like for Aaron Rodgers, it's like not great.
Lions fans just have to be dead inside by now.
Yeah.
Also, by request from viewers, want to take a quick look at the
Which
projections
viewer
for
specifically.
Robbie Roggevan.
Yes.
Roggevan.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There's a reason he wants to look
There
at this.
it
The
is.
big brown Wallers are on the rise. Hey, I'm finally breaking even with my draft day projection.
Wait, you gotta do 4 more. You do 4 more.
7? That's so close.
Yep, top 6 make the
Why is
playoffs.
Arjun still projected for 12?
Because ESPN doesn't realize he's running the league.
Okay.
But
he is 4-2 right now, so I mean,
That's no guarantee.
yeah.
yeah,
And
that's true. But
the storyline is Justin is 5-1, and Robbie is 5-1.
yeah,
And both of
Wait,
you
yeah.
surprised me. Robbie's
Wait,
second
yeah.
round pick is Antonio Brown, and he might win the league.
Oh my god.
Justin is still projected to finish less than me. What?
Well, so there you have it, current projections. And with that, we're going to move on, as you can now get to see my Bill Belichick hoodie stuff.
You can't even
Oh,
see
right.
your cam. Like,
Ooh,
I
the
see
subtle
a
messages in the
massive
background. I like it.
yeah, very cool.
Oh,
Appreciate
World
it.
Series champions. What a flex. Can't imagine that happening anytime soon.
And if my Nationals, you have something to say about it, we might have another one.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to start, cut, bench for the season. Essentially, at each position, we'll name one guy we think you should trust for the rest of the season, probably get starts. One guy you should give up on and maybe sell on, aka cut, and one guy you should keep around. And I'll start at quarterback. I have Matt Ryan, and this may seem a little bit obvious, but if you're a nog and you have Matt Ryan, but you also have Lamar Jackson, and you just picked the wrong quarterback, Matt Ryan's the one you want to hold on to. Matt Ryan likes passing the ball, and Devontae was productive this week, and Matt Ryan was still productive. I mean, Matt Ryan is just the model of consistency at the quarterback position for fantasy owners. I don't see him going down anytime soon. He's going to pass to Julio. He's going to pass to Austin Hooper. He's going to pass to Calvin Ridley.
Big if true.
At cut, should be fairly obvious by now, even though he put up a decent game this week. Baker Mayfield, he does not look good. Freddie Kitchens' offense is questionable. On fourth and 9, they do quarterback draws. I'm not sure what's going on there. Nick Chubb is a superstar of that offense. Baker Mayfield is not good. He's not putting up fantasy serviceable numbers. Just let go of him. And on the bench, we have from an undefeated team, Jimmy Garoppolo. And I've been on the don't trust Jimmy train all season long. But he's got some good matchups coming up. And if the ESPN website will stop sucking, I can actually read the matchups. There we go. Washington, Carolina, Arizona, Seattle, Arizona again. Those are the next few matchups for Jimmy Garoppolo. While he has some sort of poor performances so far, he's facing some good matchups. So if he's your QB2, that's perfect for you. Keep Jimmy Garoppolo around.
all right. So I'll go through mine. So for starting, I got Kyler Murray. I mean, he's getting a lot of passing yards. Is he running the ball now? I can't remember. I think he's running it a little more now.
He is.
Overall, he's someone that you can roll out every week and be pretty confident you'll get a decent amount. For cutting, you probably should have cut him already, honestly. But it's Drew Brees. He's like 76% owned, which is crazy to me when he's out for so long. The Saints really don't throw it that much. He's not going to get those high performances that you want. So I think you should cut him. You should have cut him already, but if you still are holding on to him, just cut him.
Wait, isn't he? Do you know when he's coming back? Isn't it like week 14 or something?
It's probably after the bye, so it's like it's not 14. It's like maybe 9.
Okay.
And for benching, this is basic. Like I really still believe in Jacoby Brissett, but the game plan for last week really scared me. So I just want to see 1 week of like, are they going to keep trying to force the ball down people's throats, or is that specifically their game plan against the Chiefs?
Yeah.
So, just bench him for a week, see what happens.
All right, and so for my picks at quarterback, the first one I had was for starting Gardner Minshew the second, of course.
Wait, not Gardner Minshew the first?
Very funny, Ahan. He's been a beast. He's playing against really bad defenses in the next few weeks and throughout the rest of the season, like Cincinnati, the Jets, Houston, etc. There's Tampa Bay on that schedule too, so make that as if you will. This week he only got 4 points against the Saints.
Yeah, I think it was less than 3.
He's going to bounce back.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's going to bounce back. He also didn't have a touchdown this week, so that's just something that usually doesn't happen for him. And yeah, I just think that he's very much starter worthy if you don't have anyone else that's like better than him. I guess that's an obvious statement. Maybe I should not make obvious statements anymore. But for the cut part, I wrote Mitch Trubisky because Trubisky has had really bad games, and that offense does not look good at all, right? Like, there's even the running game, which we'll get to later, is not particularly good, but Trubisky himself has. If you get outperformed by Chase Daniel, you know that's a bad sign. So, I suggest cutting him and trying to pick up someone else on the waiver wire. And then for bench, I actually put the Pittsburgh quarterbacks, Mason Rudolph and Devlin Hodges, because I feel like even with that team and with that team and their offensive weapons, specifically like Juju, James Conner, James Washington, etc., I feel like they can make enough of an impact on a week-to-week basis that they might justify getting into your starting lineup in a few weeks. But you should also always keep them on your bench because they'll put up decent numbers.
Okay, so my start is not going to make Anok's life easier because I have Lamar Jackson as my starter. He's been running the ball and throwing the ball well, so I mean, he got to start. You picked him late, but he's doing amazing. So the next one is a little bit controversial. Jared Goff is my cut.
Very nice.
Who's
and
not
the reason
cutting
is
him anytime
he's not taking advantage of his good matchups, and he's collapsing in his bad matchups. Okay, he's just not doing what you want him to do. And his other quarterbacks can have good matchups. I mean, I guess next week he's taking on Atlanta, but Todd Gurley's going to be back, and they'll just run the ball because you can't trust Jared Goff.
The only reason I disagree with this is because he has Atlanta and Cincinnati the next 2 weeks. I would start him for those 2 weeks and then cut him.
All right, well then cut him during the bye.
Yeah.
It sounds like let him blow up the next 2 games and then sell high.
Or that. But I don't think anybody's going to buy.
No one's going to trust Jared Goff anymore. Come on. All right, and then bench Philip Rivers.
But he's quietly having an MVP season. Actually, no, he's not.
He's actually not this
It's
year.
very
Not this year. Not this year.
I think with Melvin quarterback, you've seen what's going on the last 2 weeks. It's not been going for the Chargers. They have no quarterback to run the ball more. That's pretty much it.
All right, for my running back start is Matthew Breida.
Oh my God.
I know I'm doing a little Matt Love here, but hold on. Take this for a second, all right? Matthew Breida is leading the NFL in yards per carry. Matthew Breida...
On how many carries, though?
It doesn't matter if he's giving you just enough, right? Matthew Breida was a 10th round pick in our league, and Matthew Breida is outscoring many people taken higher than him. At his value, if you have Matthew Breida and you don't have many good running back options, you're probably happy that Matthew Breida is your RB2. And definitely he might, with some bad matchups, sit on the bench a couple of weeks. But in general, Matthew Breida is pretty good. And with Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida being the primary running backs, and Tevin Coleman is going to prove soon that he's not actually that good, Matthew Breida will get a load of the work in San Francisco. My cuts are the Tampa Bay backfield. I mean, if you have both of the Tampa Bay running backs, right, you're not going to know which one to start. You're definitely not going to start both of them, right? If you do, then it's probably in a very sad situation that you probably should give up on the season. But if you have one of them, how do you know whether you're going to start them that week or not, right? We don't know what Byron Leftwich's plan will be. We don't know what Bruce Arians wants. You just don't know what you're going to get from the running back, so why have them? On the bench, and this might be a controversial one, at David Johnson fans, I have Chase Edmonds.
At Ravi.
At Ravi. Chase Edmonds. David Johnson having a little bit of an injury concern. I know David Johnson puts up numbers even through injury. He put up 28 through a back injury. I know all of that. But with David Johnson playing, Chase Edmonds still put up double-digit fantasy points the last 2 weeks. And if for some reason David Johnson's injury gets more serious, you obviously know Chase Edmonds is going to be an instant start every week. But for now, you should just stash Chase Edmonds because if your running back situation is bad, he might even be worth a flex a week or, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, if the Cardinals
stash him.
You can play both of them. I think Robbie has both of them, so. All right. My start is going to be Carlos Hyde. I think he has a pretty good floor on Houston. He's basically the new Lamar Miller. Carries, which is unfortunate for Duke Johnson fans. I really wanted to see Duke Johnson succeed, but it looks like Carlos Hyde is getting more of the running work, unfortunately. For cut, I don't know why this dude is still owned in leagues, like 75+% of leagues, but Tariq Cohen just cut him. He's useless. And then finally at bench, I'm going to say you should bench. Hold on to Kenyon Drake. He still has a decent floor, like 10-ish points. So you can play him in, if you have a bad week with buys and injuries and stuff like that. And if he gets traded, he could be to like an actually NFL team instead of the Orlando Apollos. Then he could be really good.
What about you not worried about Mark Walton?
So how do you motherfucker?
For my running back picks, the first one I picked for a start was Mark Ingram. I think this goes without saying because he's so good, but like he's been averaging something like 5 yards per carry on a Baltimore offense that's more run heavy than pass heavy, and he's just okay. Maybe that's not true like anymore, but it used to be true, and I still trust the running game more than the passing game. Cough, Lamar Jackson, cough. But he's been beastly. His O-line makes so much room for him. And he's averaged, 7 touchdowns, or not average, but, he's had, 7 touchdowns over the past 6 games. So, this guy will always produce, and he has, a very high floor and also a pretty high ceiling. So, take that as you will. For cut, I said LaShawn McCoy. It's clear that he is no longer, the main running back when it comes to reps in Kansas City. That would go to Damian Williams, and he's just not really producing much at all.
Maybe he had 2 touches last week.
Yeah, exactly. What? I would totally disagree with this. I think LaShawn McCoy is the most valuable guy in the Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah.
Damian Williams had 2 touches. One of them was a touchdown, and then he had one receiving touchdown. The other one was a rush.
Right, but LaShawn McCoy had 8 touches. Or 8 carries. I guess that's
but that's still the most of all the people.
I agree with this, right? But the point is that Kansas City running backs are not worthwhile anyways, and it feels like Damian Williams has a higher ceiling and also possibly a higher floor.
I just think there's no one who would drop him for.
Right, but this is a 14-team league. I'm saying that, maybe not in a 14-team league, but, if you're in a 12, definitely a 10, you're not.
A 10-team league.
Really? You wouldn't take, There's a bunch of people on the waiver wire that I think are good.
You could pick a big guy.
Yeah, you
Shut
can pick
up.
Han, or... I mean, presumably if you're in a 10-team league, you can pick up someone like, I don't know, Adrian Peterson.
Oh my god.
Let's shut up, Daniel. Let's hear your bench. It's not that funny, bro. Let's hear
So, also in Chicago, with respect to the running back situation, I said to bench David Montgomery because Taylor Cohen is not getting any snaps at all, like Francisco said. But David Montgomery has a lot of, I don't want to say upside because it's not entirely
Just say it.
true. Yeah, he has a lot of playing time, I guess, is the thing to say. And even though he hasn't really done particularly well, I think there are definitely games on his schedule where he can pop off against sort of weaker run defenses. And yeah, so just bench him, play him for 1 or 2 games if the matchup is favorable, and yeah.
All right.
Okay, so my running back start is actually, I don't know I guess it's complimentary to Hans. It's Tevin Coleman. I think he gets the most valuable touches on the team. He gets the red zone work. Basically, you saw what Jeff Wilson did over those 3 weeks where he got, I don't know how many touchdowns, 3 or 4. That's Tevin Coleman now, and he's better. He's getting the red zone work. He's going to get touchdowns. He might get a few catches, too. I think you can start him. I guess you can start Beth Breida, too, but I think Tevin Coleman will be better overall just because he's getting the red zone. And for cut is Adrian Peterson. He's on 55% of leagues. I mean, this is kind of obvious, but, he did what he wanted him to do in a good matchup, and now he gets, over the next 4 weeks, San Francisco, Minnesota, Buffalo, and a bye.
Oh.
So,
Unsubscriber.
just don't keep him. He did what he wanted to do, get rid of him. And then Joe Mixon has been sucking. He had, I think he has 1 touchdown a year and a receiving touchdown. And it's not fun. As a Joe Mixon owner, in 2 leagues, it is horrible. But I still have to start him because Chubb is on bye, and it sucks.
All right, and my wide receiver trio is very interesting and perhaps controversial. Calvin Ridley should always start on your team, no questions asked. When Julio is being double triple.
All right, continue.
When Julio is being double triple teamed, Calvin Ridley is the first option, and I don't care that Austin Hooper is popping off. Calvin Ridley still gets fantasy points. It just is what it is. He's the go-to wide receiver on that team. I'll say my bench first. For bench, I said this earlier. DK Metcalf is a stud in good matchups. He'll just pop off, make huge plays. You should keep him, and when the matchups are good, start him.
But you don't think he's gonna get more work now with this layout, or get more red zone targets?
He'll probably get more red zone targets, but they'll also give him more attention because he's such an athletic freak. I would only start him when it's very evident that he is worth of the flex. If you're, for example, debating between DK Metcalf and Emmanuel Sanders, which is a decision I have in another league, Emmanuel Sanders with a good matchup, I think that's something you think about. Maybe don't start DK Metcalf there. Tyler Lockett's still the wide receiver one. And for my cut,
this is a nuclear take.
You gotta have a lava bomb of a take every podcast, right? And mine is the guy who put up 50 2 weeks ago. It's Will Fuller.
You're insane. You are actually insane.
DeAndre Hopkins is not having a good fantasy season so far for his standards. Deshaun Watson is back. He's going to give DeAndre Hopkins more work. Will Fuller, mark my words, within the next 2 weeks will be irrelevant. Sell him high right now.
No one has that upside. No one has on the Braver Right has the upside that Will Fuller has right now. You'd be insane to cut him.
Sell him high right now.
Okay, sell him high, sure. Yeah. Do not cut him.
Cut means sell him high. Just get rid of him in your team because he's not going to be serviceable in the next couple weeks. Will Fuller will not be relevant.
This is extremely spicy. Holy Lord.
I don't know. I think he's like, I wouldn't keep him.
Like,
all right.
Hold on. For one, I see the argument here because like he's had a lot of targets recently, but even then, they played like some good defenses. And some like really bad ones as well.
My point is just sell him high because he's not going to be a regular start going forward.
All right, my start is going to be Sterling Shepard at wide receiver. For the rest of the season, the Giants have some like incredibly good matchups, and then in the playoffs, their matchups are insane. Let me just pull them up real quick. So for the playoffs, last 3 weeks they get Philadelphia, Miami, Washington. Oh my goodness. Done. And then, he's just going to go off. I mean, he doesn't really have too many bad matchups left on the schedule. He's got Chicago week 12 and Green Bay week 13. Those are only the two bad ones I see. So I think Danny Dimes is going to be able to sling it. And if he's ever injured, Golden Tate is the replacement. He'll also be really good. For cut, Robbie, this is directed directly at you. Cut Antonio Brown. He's not going to be signed to a team this year. There are no rumors that say there's anything close to him being signed to a team. Just cut your losses. He's wasting your bench spot.
Cut Antonio Brown and pick up J&J.
Exactly. So I'm going to say bench D.D. Westbrook. He's having an okay amount of targets right now. You might be able to play him in the flex in a good matchup. But overall, you're probably not playing him. But do not cut him because when Nick Foles come back, I want to see who gets the targets between him and Chark when Nick Foles is back.
Right. For my wide receiver picks, I had Cortland Sutton. He's currently being started in like 43% of leagues. That number should be much higher. He's the clear WR1 in Denver. I guess Joe Flacco isn't like particularly good of a quarterback, but he is clearly seeing like a very consistent amount of targets, usually around 8 per game, and he's gotten a decent number of touchdowns and yards per catch, and it's always just like a very consistent performance from him. He's been averaging 13 points, even if you discount the touchdowns, he's been averaging 13 points a game, and he plays teams like Kansas City, Indiana, Cleveland, Minnesota, Buffalo, Chargers, Houston, Kansas City again, Detroit, then Oakland. So those are like pretty good matchups in general. For cut, I said Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's clear that wait, what was his name again? Oh yeah, Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is going to get more targets. Even when Devontae Adams
He's
was
coming
out,
back, so he's just going to get the win.
Yeah, so even when Devontae Adams was out for like the past 2 weeks, Valdez Scantling did not get that many targets. He got like 4 and 2 respectively. So when Devontae Adams comes back, you expect that number to like be very low as well. So I think you at some point you just cut him. With respect to benching, I think Brandon Cooks is the person to bench because on the Rams offense, there's 2 clear wide receivers that. Well, it's like wide receiver 1 is
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and then Robert Woods gets more targets than Brandon Cooks, so I feel like in terms of Brandon Cooks, he won't have that high of a ceiling every game. Like he'll get some performance from him. He's had games where he's done well, but it just feels like he's not really good enough to start. Except maybe that game in Week 8 against Cincinnati, but the rest of the defenses he plays are like pretty good.
Alec.
Okay, yeah. So my start is John Brown. He's coming off the bye, and he has a bunch of juicy matchups coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the Jets twice or something, or Miami twice, and the Jets, and he just has lots of good matchups. You got to start him, man. He's done even okay in that, so yeah. My cut is Corey Davis. This dude sucks, okay?
Adam Humphries, hype train, literally running from Clemson right now.
He had like the highest, last year he had like one of the highest target rates. And like,
Oh my god, he's 44% roster.
yeah, he's 44% roster. He sucks. Get rid of him. Don't stop. And now he's going from Mariota to Tannehill. You don't even know what's going on. Mariota sucks. Corey Davis sucks. Don't bother with either of them. Get rid of Corey Davis. And then my bench is Sammy Watkins. This year is the classic Sammy Watkins experience. He goes off week 1. Nothing next 2 weeks, and then he gets injured. So, like, just keep him on your bench. If you have a bye week and you need to play him. But, no, just stop. He's not reliable. He's not going to do what you want either. You can play him and see what happens in your bye weeks, but don't rely on him.
All right, last position is tight end, and you know where I'm starting.
Oh, boy.
It's Mark Andrews.
Oh my god.
The
Yeah.
Baltimore, or not the Orioles.
The Orioles.
You definitely explained this one. Mark Andrews is good. End of sentence.
Yeah.
The Baltimore-
Mark
the Baltimore-
Andrews is elite.
The Baltimore Ravens lead the NFL in target percentage for tight ends. That's really all
Wow.
you have to hear. For cut, Jimmy Graham is old. He's dropping pretty easy catches, giving Aaron Rodgers a hard time. He's just not good anymore. He might get a touchdown here and there, but he's just never worth a start. Gerald Everett has high upside. You heard earlier from Daniel about like the wide receiver situation. Brandon Cooks having some injury issues. Gerald Everett is going to get targets from an offense that likes to distribute. Gerald Everett is worth hanging on to.
All right, so for me, first before I start, I just want to shout out Will Disley. He would have been my start on this episode, but looks like he's out for the season. I want to cry. I don't want to face the waiver wire. Anyway, so instead I'm going with Austin Hooper, who's literally tight end 1. He's officially proven himself in these first 6 weeks, so that's it. To cut, Daniel.
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation about O.J. Howard. No. O.J. Howard is trash.
No,
And now he has a bye week. It's the perfect opportunity. You're not going to want to play. You're not even going to want to play him for the next 2 weeks. Just cut him, dude.
no.
It's okay. Nobody's going to pick him up because he's trash. And you should be like, dude. I would rather play Cameron Brate than O.J. Howard, honestly.
Harvard.
Okay, do you want me to, like, what do you want me to do with my tight end situation then? You want me to
Break
drop
for
him
one.
and then, no.
Maybe you consider the guy I'm going to talk about
My
now,
depth
which is
not
Dawson
high
Knox.
enough. Okay,
Dawson Knox for the Buffalo. He's been getting some targets, getting some touchdowns. They have some juicy matchups coming up. If you're going to pick him up, I would say wait 1 week, see if he can take advantage of the matchup this week. If he can, then you can start to trust him a little more.
are you saying that just because I'm playing you this week? Is that why? Are you scared of him.
Nobody is scared
Dawson
of
Knox?
O.J. Howard.
Okay.
Move on.
Okay.
Especially if he's on bye.
All right. We'll get there. Okay, for tight end, I put Hunter Henry for start. This one's a pretty obvious choice. He's one of the biggest targets of Phillip Rivers, and he's been just doing well for like the entire season, and he will continue to do well. So that's basically a no-brainer. For cut, I remember week 2 of the season, Ahan was bragging to me about how in another league he picked up Vance McDonald for $2 for some auction, like.
I mean, if people are going to pick up Adam Humphries and A.J. Brown for $30,
okay.
I can brag about that.
Yeah, sure. That's fair. But he had one good game against Seattle. And then he had like 4 crap games. He also didn't play in the one against Cincinnati, apparently. But
3 bad games and a did not play.
Yeah. So you can safely throw him away, basically. And for bench, yeah, it's O.J. Howard. Look, we saw what his ceiling was last year, okay? And just because this year, like, he's been getting way fewer targets and way fewer involvement doesn't mean that he will, like, I still believe that he has the potential to bounce back, and that's why I'm saying you should bench him instead of, like, throwing him away altogether, because there's not really, even now, there's not really anyone else on waiver wire that can, like, do better until you, like, see at least 1 or 2 games that you know, then you can, like, figure out that they might do better, but right now, there's no one else out there that's, like, good enough for me to justify cutting him, so...
O.J. Howard primarily blocks, and his best catch was at a baseball game. That is all.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're in denial.
No, you.
Alright, so my tight end start is Darren Waller. He has been a monster. Catching, he's like one of the top tight ends, and he doesn't have a touchdown yet. So that just tells you how good he is. And yeah, he's just getting the targets. And he's basically taking the role Jared Cook had last year. He was my trust pick also a couple weeks ago. So just start him. My cut, Jason Witten.
Wow.
If you want 4 for 40 and a 30% chance of a touchdown, fine, you can play him. But like he's going to be available. You can pick him up whenever you want, and put him in for that whatever mediocre performance. I'd rather have someone with a little bit more upside than just Jason Witten doing Jason Witten. And then bench, Delaney Walker. I think, first of all, he's kind of injured. And second of all, we don't really know what the quarterback situation is. Unlike Corey Davis, Delaney Walker is actually good. So I wouldn't cut him. And I think we could see what happens with Mariota or Tannehill. And he could maybe bounce back. Yeah. We'll see. And if he recovers from his injury.
And that wraps up our episode. Any hot takes besides Will Fuller?
I had one, but I forgot it. So.
No, I got one. The NFL needs to fire Al Riveron like yesterday. Ever since he started being the whatever VP of refs, it's just gotten worse and worse every year. And they put him in charge of the freaking replay, and he sucks every time. There's like they never overturn pass interference. They have stupid rulings on the field. It's dumb. Fire him, bring back Dean Blandino, give him however much money he wants, because he was actually good at his job. Well, not good. He was fine. But Alvaron is garbage. Okay, get rid of him. He sucks.
I mostly agree with this, actually. I feel like the officiating has actually
This
gotten
isn't even a
worse.
hot take.
Yeah, this is...
I wanted to say it, though.
Yeah.
Because it's...
My hot take is that O.J. Howard will drop 15 points a game. Or not a game. Well, 15 points
That's literally
in
just-
one
Everyone
of
odds
his
on
games.
15 a game.
In one of his games this week. No,
My
sorry,
hot
not
take is
this,
that the-
this season, not this week, because he's not playing this week. Why am I stumbling?
My hot take is that the Clippers' new City Edition uniforms look good.
No.
And I just have a question.
Dude, they look
No.
fire.
I don't have any more
No.
takes, but I have a question. XFL drafted today. Tell me what team I should be a fan of, DC or Seattle. That's it.
Seattle.
The team that drafted Landry
St.
Jones.
Louis.
The team that drafted Landry Jones. You should be a fan of that team.
You can do that if you want.
Yeah.
All right, peace out, guys.
All right. Cool.
Right.
See y'all.
Thank you.